Hey, do you find yourself with a stiff neck, especially after working all day in front of a computer? Maybe if you're like me, you've even awakened at night with a headache in the back of your head and a really stiff neck. Not sure what to do about it? Well, today I'm going to give you some great techniques to help you solve that problem, and just like that. Welcome back to the Muscle Repair Shop. My name is Butch Phelps. I'm a functional massage therapist, and today we're going to talk about one of the worst pains that I know that I've ever had, and probably the same is true for you, is a stiff neck that you can't move your head around. And so for many times for me, it's like I've had occasions where I've awakened in the middle of the night, have been working on a computer all day or sitting in terrible chairs during the day, and all of a sudden I would awaken at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning with my neck had just totally locked up with a headache, and trying to figure out how to solve that problem. And I bet you have some of the same problems as well. So what causes that? So when you look at your head, and I'm going to turn sideways a little bit, so we have muscles that are running down from the base of our skull down into our shoulders here. We have muscles on the front side as well as here on the sides of our neck, and all of these muscles are balancing our head. Well, my head, or everybody's head, weighs approximately 10 to 12 pounds. Every inch this head goes forward, the pressure back here increases by 10 pounds. So here I'm about 10 to 12 pounds. If I go 2 inches forward, I'm about 40 pounds of pressure back here. Over time, these muscles are going to contract and get hard. Now think about going to a gym. If I take my arm and I'm lifting the weight up, the higher I lift that weight, the harder it gets to hold that weight up, and especially as I come back down. Well, this would be like the back of your neck as you're doing that back and forth. So keep that in mind as we're talking here. When these get tight back here, now lifting your head up becomes very difficult. When these on the front get tight, rotating my head from side to side becomes difficult. But now here's the thing, this is a little caveat to remember. If I turn my head this way and the pain shows up back here, everybody goes back there to work on it because the pain is there. But the thing is that what caused that pain literally is usually the muscle on this side, okay? So think about this. As I turn my head, the muscle here has to contract, but the muscle here has to release. If this muscle is stiff because I've been working like this all day long, reading a book, texting on my phone, and this muscle here is stiff and tight, when I go to rotate my head, it's not going to want to let go so that my head can rotate, and the pain will show up over here every single time. Okay? So if I turn my head this way and I get a pain here, it's usually coming from the side of the neck. So the one thing to always keep in mind with muscles is that they're like the guy wires on your body. If you think of your bones as a steel structure, the muscles are really the guy wires. So they're constantly balancing you. So in the case of my head, if I go this way, the muscles here tighten, but the muscles here have to release. If these muscles don't release, these muscles will be in pain. So wherever the pain is, the cause is typically the opposite side. If you keep that in mind when we're talking about muscles, it'll help you a lot in understanding what I'm saying to you here. And so the one thing that you can do is you can learn how to massage your neck here yourself. And I know for a lot of you have like massagers, electric massagers, and you have like these special balls that vibrate, and you have special pillows, and you have all these different things. The thing is that your brain has to let those muscles release. I don't care how hard you push. In fact, the harder you push, the worse it's going to get. Yes, you are right for those of you who just said, but what about deep tissue massage? What about, I'm scraping and so forth? Yes, in the moment, those muscles were released for the moment. Only because they've been contracted for so long from the pain that they're just fatigued out. Think about if I gave you a 5-pound weight and I said hold it out here, you could do that for a short period of time, and after a while your arm would just drop, right? Because it would just fatigue out. That's exactly what's happening when people put too much pressure there. So what we want is to put just enough pressure there that as you are putting in here and breathing out, the body then, the brain then starts to release the muscle. So let's get into how do you do that with the back of your neck. So I'm going to rotate and turn my back to you so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm not ignoring you, okay? I'll be back, but I'm turning my body here around so you can see me. So here we go. So you can do this with 2 thumbs, or you can do this with 1 thumb here. And what I do is I get to the base of my skull right along into here, and I will press in, not really, really hard, but press it enough that I can feel it, and I start to breathe out and just let that release. Now sometimes what I'll do if it's really bad is I'll even let my head drop down a little bit as I'm applying pressure here to allow this to let go. You can do this working all the way down the muscles this way, just like that, coming down. Okay, and you want to soften this right back up. Now, coming back up here, if you go with the 2 thumbs up here, and I've done this laying on my bed or on the floor, have my thumbs against the floor, but use the weight of my head as far as applying pressure, breathe out and just allow the muscles on the front of my neck to let go. And as I do that, I can let the muscles go back here. And then what happens then is that this starts to release. So keep in mind, you have muscles along the back side of your head called occipital muscles, but you have muscles like the traps coming down to the shoulders, the levator scapula coming down to the shoulder blade, the erector spinalis are coming down this way. You got a lot of muscles there. And so the thing is we want to work in here to get this to start to soften back up. Then we can take our 2 thumbs, you'll feel like a ridge in the back of your neck here. You can literally start to press against this, breathing out and allowing these muscles to just relax and let go. And you'll start to soften and free this back up. Now for some of you, remember I talked about using the tennis ball on the upper back here against the wall. You can go back and find that video that I've done before, but you could take the tennis ball, put it in a sock, throw it over your shoulder, and press on the tennis ball between the upper back and the wall, and that's going to help to reduce the pressure in the muscles all back into here, you see. Now, once you've done that and you get that softened up where it's not so painful, now we want to release the muscles on the front side. So just take your hand here, let your head rest in the palm of your hand. Take a moment and just feel how heavy your head is actually. Don't use your neck muscles when you do this, by the way. But what you're going to do is use your arms and gently push the head up so that you can stretch the muscles underneath here on the front of the neck. Because as you sit for periods of time reading a book, on your phone, typing on a computer, most of what we do, we look downwards so the muscles on the front side will tighten, the muscles on the back side will harden because they're trying just to hold the weight of your head up. This is something that you can do at least every hour or so if your neck is really bad. If it's not really bad, I mean, you could actually do this once a day, twice a day, and you can take a lot of that pain out of your neck and softening that back up. I'm going to do another video that is going to get into a little more of the neck stretching in different avenues. But for people who are suffering from a stiff neck right now, this is an easy way to get you into the right track and get you moving again and try to solve that problem. So if you like what I've been talking about today, if you've got some friends you think this will help, please subscribe down below, ring the bell, share it with your friends, and as always, leave comments. I love when people leave me comments so we can have a discussion about things and see if we can help you solve some of your problems. But for now, see ya.